Life is not asking you to become worthy someday. It is responding to what you assume to be true about yourself in this very instant. Every moment you have ever experienced was shaped by an inner state that came first. Before events appeared, before circumstances formed, there was a quiet assumption within you, an expectation, a feeling, a knowing. You were never reacting to life, you were expressing what you believed life to be. And if that is true, then this moment holds extraordinary power. Because the moment you shift your inner stance, everything rearranges to match it. Receiving boldly does not mean forcing outcomes or demanding results. It means relaxing into certainty. It means dropping the habit of hesitation and choosing to occupy the state of fulfillment now. When you receive boldly, you no longer ask, when will it come? You ask, how would I feel if it were already mine? And once that feeling is assumed, the question dissolves, because the answer has already been accepted. Many people delay their lives by believing they must first see proof. But proof is not the cause, it is the effect. Reality follows identity. When you see yourself as one who receives easily, life confirms it. When you see yourself as one who must struggle, life reflects that too. The difference is never outside, it is always the position you take within. Bold receiving is an act of inner courage. It requires letting go of old stories about limitation, timing, and deserving. It requires releasing the idea that fulfillment must arrive dramatically or through hardship. In truth, what is meant for you moves naturally toward you the moment you stop resisting it with doubt. The unseen does not need your effort. It needs your consent. This moment changes everything because it is the moment you decide to live from the end, not toward it. You stop reaching and start resting. You stop hoping and start knowing. The inner shift may feel subtle, but its impact is absolute. Once the feeling of fulfillment becomes familiar, the world has no option but to echo it. When you allow yourself to begin, you echo it. Receive boldly now, not tomorrow, not after conditions improve, now. Because now is when identity is chosen, assumptions are set, and reality takes its cue. When you allow yourself to receive without hesitation, life responds without delay. This moment is not passing you by. It is offering you everything. Waiting only for your acceptance, the present moment is the only point of creative power because it is the only moment in which consciousness is alive and active. The past exists only as memory, and the future exists only as imagination. Neither has the ability to act, respond, or create. All creation happens now through what you are aware of, what you feel to be true, and what you accept as real in this instant. The moment you understand this, you stop looking backward for causes and stop waiting forward for permission. You realize that power has always been with you, concentrated in the present. What you assume in this moment sets the direction for what unfolds next. Life does not respond to what you wish for occasionally or think about passively. It responds to what you are being right now. Your inner state is the instruction you are constantly giving to reality. If you feel uncertain, life mirrors uncertainty. If you feel fulfilled, life moves to confirm fulfillment. The present moment is where this instruction is issued, and it is issued continuously, whether consciously or unconsciously. Most people unknowingly give their creative power away by believing that time creates change. They think things will improve later, once conditions shift or circumstances align. But time does not create, it only reveals. What is revealed tomorrow is born from what is assumed today. Waiting for the future to change without changing the present state is like expecting a different reflection without altering what stands before the mirror. The present moment is also the only place where identity can be chosen. You cannot become someone new in the past, and you cannot inhabit a state in the future. You can only claim it now. The moment you assume a new self-concept, you step into a new stream of experience. That assumption may feel quiet and internal, but it is more powerful than any external action because it changes the cause, not the effect. Creative power is not found in effort or struggle, it is found in alignment. When your thoughts, feelings, and inner conversations agree with the reality you wish to experience, creation becomes effortless. This alignment can only occur now. You do not need to fix yesterday or control tomorrow. You only need to occupy the feeling of the fulfilled desire in the present moment, and life reorganizes itself around that state. When you return your attention to the present, you reclaim authority over your experience. You stop reacting to appearances and start originating them. You recognize that every now is a doorway, and each doorway leads to a different outcome, depending on what you bring into it. By choosing awareness, certainty, and acceptance now, you activate the only power that has ever created anything. The present moment is not just a point in time, it is the source from which all realities flow. Receiving is an inner decision, not an outer permission, because nothing outside of you has the authority to decide what you may experience. Life does not grant, approve, or withhold, it reflects. What appears as opportunity, abundance, love, or success is not released by circumstances, but revealed by inner acceptance. The moment you decide that something is allowed for you, reality begins arranging itself to confirm that decision. Most delays are not caused by external obstacles, but by internal hesitation. People wait for signs, validation, or approval before they allow themselves to feel fulfilled. They believe they must earn the right to receive through struggle, perfection, or time. Yet this waiting is itself the barrier. When you look to the outside for permission, you silently declare that you are not the source. And when you do that, life mirrors hesitation instead of flow. An inner decision is quiet but absolute. It does not argue, justify, or explain. It simply assumes. When you decide inwardly that you are someone who receives, your inner dialogue changes. Your expectations soften. Your reactions lose urgency. You stop asking, "Why hasn't it happened yet?" and begin moving as someone for whom it is natural. This shift may feel subtle, but it is decisive because reality responds to what feels normal to you, not to what you desire from a distance. Outer conditions often appear rigid, but they are far more flexible than they seem. What gives them their power is the meaning you assign to them. The moment you change that meaning, conditions begin to loosen. When you decide that you are not waiting to receive, but actively receiving now, the sense of struggle dissolves. You are no longer negotiating with life, you are accepting from it. Receiving does not require force or demand. It requires allowance. Allowance is an inner posture of openness, trust, and expectancy. It is a willingness to let good arrive without suspicion or fear. Many people unconsciously block their own receiving by feeling unworthy, unprepared, or uncertain. These feelings are not facts. They are habits of thought. The moment you decide differently, those habits lose their influence. The most powerful moment of receiving is when you stop asking whether it is possible and begin feeling as though it is done. This is not pretending or hoping, it is accepting. When acceptance becomes your inner state, Life responds effortlessly. You find yourself in the right place, meeting the right people, encountering the right opportunities without strain. Receiving is not something that happens to you, it is something you permit. And permission is always given within. When you choose to receive boldly, without waiting for proof, you activate a natural flow that has always been available. The outer world does not decide your readiness. Your inner decision does. Assumption shapes reality before action ever begins, because every action is preceded by an inner conclusion about what is possible, likely, or true. Long before you move, speak, or decide, you have already assumed something about yourself and about life. That assumption becomes the invisible framework through which all experiences are formed. Action does not create results on its own. It simply expresses the state you are already living from. Every person acts in alignment with what feels natural to them. What feels natural is not determined by logic or effort, but by assumption. If you assume success is difficult, your actions carry hesitation, tension, and doubt. If you assume success is inevitable, your actions become calm, direct, and confident. The difference is not the action itself, but the state behind it. Reality responds to the state, not the strain. Most people try to change outcomes by forcing behavior while leaving their assumptions untouched. This creates resistance. They push, plan, and try harder, yet feel blocked or delayed. The unseen cause remains the same, so the visible effect repeats. When assumption changes, however, action reorganizes itself automatically. You do not need to force new habits. They arise naturally from a new inner position. Assumption also determines what you notice and what you ignore. Life presents countless possibilities, but you only perceive the ones that align with what you already believe. When you assume opportunity, you recognize openings others overlook. When you assume limitation, even open doors appear closed. The world has not changed. Your lens has. That lens is set by assumption long before any physical movement takes place. Before action begins, the outcome has already been accepted internally. This is why two people can take similar actions and experience entirely different results. One moves from trust, the other from fear. One expects support, the other expects resistance. Life mirrors these expectations with precision. Action simply gives form to what assumption has already selected. Changing assumption does not require struggle or repetition of effort. It requires recognition. The moment you become aware of the state you are assuming, you regain choice. You can decide to occupy a different inner position now. When you do, action feels lighter, clearer, and more effective because it is no longer compensating for doubt. It is flowing from certainty. The most powerful action is alignment. When you assume the feeling of the desired reality before it appears, you step into harmony with it. From that state, inspired actions emerge effortlessly, and sometimes no action is needed at all. Things happen through you rather than because of you. Assumption is the silent beginning of every result. Change it, and the entire sequence that follows must change as well. Reality does not wait for action to begin shaping itself. It responds instantly to what you have already accepted as true. Soul reception dissolves delay and struggle, because waiting and effort are often signs of inner resistance, not external obstacles. When you hesitate to receive, you unconsciously signal that what you desire is distant, difficult, or uncertain. Life responds to that signal by mirroring distance and delay. The moment you receive boldly, you remove the inner friction that was slowing everything down. Struggle is rarely about the task itself. It is about the belief that something must be earned through strain. This belief creates tension, urgency, and impatience. You push against life instead of moving with it. Bold reception shifts this dynamic entirely. It replaces effort with acceptance. Instead of asking how long it will take or what else must be done, you settle into the feeling that it is already yours. That inner settlement changes the pace of everything. Delay is not imposed by time, it is sustained by doubt. Doubt keeps the mind oscillating between hope and fear, creating inconsistency in expectation. Life reflects this inconsistency as interruptions, setbacks, or slow movement. When you receive boldly, doubt loses its footing. There is no inner debate, no second guessing. There is simply a calm assumption that what is desired belongs to you now. From that state, events begin to align smoothly and naturally. Bold reception does not mean impatience or demand. It means certainty. It is a quiet confidence that does not rush because it does not fear loss. When you know something is yours, you do not chase it. You allow it. This allowance creates space for life to move without resistance. Opportunities arrive without force. Solutions appear without struggle. What once felt heavy begins to feel inevitable. Many people unknowingly extend struggle by trying to control the process. They monitor progress, measure time, and react emotionally to appearances. Each reaction reinforces the idea that fulfillment is not yet secure. Bold reception ends this cycle by withdrawing attention from lack and placing it on completion. You stop watching the clock and start living as though the outcome is settled. You start living as though the outcome is settled. When reception becomes bold, the nervous system relaxes. The mind stops grasping. This inner relaxation is not passive. It is powerful. It signals readiness, trust, and alignment. Life responds to this signal with speed, not because you forced anything, but because nothing is blocking the flow anymore. The moment you allow yourself to receive without conditions, struggle becomes unnecessary. You realize that ease was always available, waiting for your consent. Delay dissolves, not when circumstances change, but when your inner posture changes. Bold reception is that shift. It is the decision to stop waiting, stop proving, and start allowing now. Feeling fulfilled precedes visible change because reality is an outer echo of an inner condition. What appears in your world is not the cause of your state, but the result of it. Fulfillment is not something you experience after life changes. It is something you assume before life has any reason to reflect it. When fulfillment is established within, the outer world must follow, because it has no independent direction of its own. Most people reverse this order. They wait for circumstances to improve before allowing themselves to feel satisfied, secure, or whole. This waiting silently affirms that fulfillment is absent now. Life responds to that affirmation by maintaining the appearance of lack. The cycle continues not because fulfillment is impossible, but because it is being postponed inwardly. Change cannot precede the state that causes it. Feeling fulfilled does not mean ignoring reality or pretending problems do not exist. It means choosing the emotional and mental position of completion, regardless of appearances. When you feel fulfilled, you are no longer seeking validation from outcomes. You are grounded in a sense of enoughness. This inner stability removes urgency and desperation, which are the very energies that delay change. Fulfillment changes how you move through life. Decisions become clearer, reactions soften, you stop overthinking and start responding naturally. From this state, actions are aligned rather than forced. Often the right steps appear without conscious effort, and sometimes circumstances shift without any action at all. This is because the cause has already been set. Visible change requires an invisible shift first. Just as a seed grows unseen before breaking the surface, your inner state must change before the outer world can reveal anything new. The feeling of fulfillment is that unseen growth. It may not be dramatic, but it is decisive. Once it is established, the outer form is inevitable. When you feel fulfilled now, you send a clear message to life. Nothing is missing. Life responds by arranging conditions that match that message. Opportunities appear that feel natural rather than surprising. Relationships reflect ease instead of tension. Resources flow without struggle. These changes are not sudden miracles. They are confirmations of a state you have already occupied. The mind often resists this idea because it equates fulfillment with complacency. In truth, fulfillment is the highest form of readiness. It signals confidence, trust, and alignment. It is not the end of desire, but the fulfillment of it internally, which frees life to express it externally. Every lasting change begins with a feeling. When that feeling is fulfillment, the change that follows is stable and effortless. The world cannot help but mirror what you consistently feel to be true. When fulfillment becomes your inner home, visible change becomes unavoidable. Identity determines what you allow into your life because your self-concept acts as an internal filter for every experience you encounter. You do not receive according to what you want, hope for, or even work toward. You receive according to who you believe yourself to be. What feels acceptable, natural, or possible to you is decided by identity long before circumstances appear. Life simply agrees with the image you hold of yourself. Your identity sets the boundaries of your expectations. If you see yourself as someone who struggles, you unconsciously reject ease when it approaches. If you see yourself as someone who must prove worth, you delay receiving until effort feels sufficient. These reactions are not conscious choices. They are automatic responses rooted in self-definition. You are not being denied. You are allowing only what matches your inner agreement. What you allow feels normal to you. This is why certain opportunities, relationships, or outcomes seem to arrive effortlessly for some and feel unreachable for others. The difference is not luck or timing. It is self-permission. When something aligns with your identity, you accept it without question. When it does not, you hesitate, overthink, or sabotage, even if you desire it deeply. Identity also shapes how you interpret events. The same situation can feel like confirmation or rejection depending on who you assume yourself to be. A delay can feel like failure to one person and alignment to another. A challenge can feel like proof of limitation or evidence of growth. These interpretations are not random. They are consistent with identity. Life reflects this consistency faithfully. Changing what you allow does not begin with controlling behavior or circumstances. It begins with redefining self-concept. When you shift how you see yourself, your standards change automatically. You no longer tolerate what contradicts your new identity, and you no longer resist what supports it. This shift feels internal, but its effects are immediate and external. The moment you identify as someone who receives easily, ease stops feeling foreign. The moment you identify as someone worthy of success, success no longer feels intimidating. You stop bracing for disappointment and start expecting alignment. From this state, life opens without force because resistance has dissolved. Identity is not fixed, it is assumed moment by moment. Every inner conversation either reinforces an old self-illusion or introduces a new one. When you consciously choose your identity, you reclaim authority over what enters your experience. You are no longer reacting to life, you are setting the terms. What you allow into your life is not controlled by circumstances, other people, or chance. It is governed by who you believe yourself to be. Change the identity and permission expands. When identity aligns with fulfillment, life has no choice but to meet you there. Identity determines what you allow into your life because your self-perception quietly governs every yes and no you make, even when you believe you are acting logically. You do not evaluate experiences neutrally. You measure them against an inner definition of who you are and what belongs to you. Whatever agrees with that definition is welcomed with ease, while anything that contradicts it is questioned, delayed, or dismissed, no matter how desirable it appears. Your identity shapes your comfort zone, and your comfort zone determines your reality. What feels comfortable is not always what is best, but it is always what is familiar. If struggle is familiar, ease feels suspicious. If inconsistency is familiar, stability feels foreign. These reactions are not conscious resistance. They are automatic protections of identity. You unconsciously protect who you believe you are, even when that belief limits you. Life continuously offers possibilities, but you only receive the ones that feel permissible. Permission is not granted by circumstances or other people. It is granted by self-concept. When you believe you are worthy, supported, and capable, you allow good things to arrive without interrogation. When you believe you must earn, fight, or wait, you impose conditions on receiving. Life follows those conditions precisely. Identity also determines how long you allow situations to remain unchanged. If you identify as someone who endures, you tolerate dissatisfaction longer than necessary. If you identify as someone who expects alignment, you adjust quickly when something no longer matches your inner standard. This is not arrogance, it is clarity. Your identity sets the baseline for what you consider acceptable. Many people attempt to change outcomes without changing identity. They try to think positively while still seeing themselves as limited. This creates inner conflict. Results may improve temporarily, but they rarely stabilize. Lasting change requires a shift in who you are being, not just what you are doing. When identity changes, behavior, choices, and outcomes follow effortlessly. Identity is reinforced through inner dialogue. The way you speak to yourself, the expectations you quietly hold, and the stories you repeat all shape what you allow. Every time you accept less than what you desire, you strengthen an old self-image. Every time you allow yourself to feel fulfilled now, you introduce a new one. The most powerful change happens when you decide that your identity no longer includes lack, waiting, or struggle. You do not need to prove this decision to anyone. The moment it feels true internally, your standards shift. You stop negotiating with life and start allowing it to meet you differently. What enters your life is not random, it is invited by identity. When you redefine yourself from the inside, permission expands naturally. Life responds not to effort, but to self-recognition. When you see yourself as someone who receives, life treats you accordingly. Everything you have heard points to one simple truth. Nothing changes until you do, and the moment you do, everything else must follow. Creation does not happen through force, waiting, or effort. It happens through awareness, assumption, and identity. The present moment is your point of power. What you decide to receive inwardly becomes the pattern life reflects outwardly. When you stop asking for permission, stop postponing fulfillment, and stop defining yourself by old limitations, reality has no choice but to rearrange itself in response. This is not about becoming someone new in the future. It is about recognizing who you are now. When you assume fulfillment, receive boldly and allow yourself to live from certainty rather than hope, struggle dissolves and delay loses its meaning. Identity sets the standard, feeling sets the direction, and the present moment activates the shift. From that alignment, change becomes natural, effortless, and inevitable.